wants to talk about this now.
Are you here for this protest?
I am, yes.
You are?
Yeah.
Because it's nice to... Can I speak to you? Can I?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, thank you, man. It's nice that I've got somebody away from the speakers, you know what I mean?
Well, I had to find a patch of grass, otherwise I couldn't set up the parasol and everything, so...
So could you explain what this is about then, with the dimming of the sun and what you know about it or what you feel about it?
Well, geoengineering, I'm a researcher.
Okay.
So I don't just research geoengineering, but it's multifaceted.
Okay.
So it's not just about engineering the weather, which, by the way, it's on record. It probably started before that, but geoengineering the weather has been going on since 1917.
Right.
For apparently war purposes.
Right.
War fighting purposes.
Yeah.
It started with a thing called cloud seeding, where they would produce artificial clouds, but way back then it wasn't as toxic as it is now.
It's funny because a lot of people have been saying how it's a conspiracy theory and tin hats and all that kind of stuff, you know?
I mean, you can create clouds with not chemtrails but contrails by throwing artificial ice particles, and you create artificial clouds. And yes, you can see how that for war purposes, war fighting purposes with the enemy can be very useful.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
but through the years, it's developed into something very, very nefarious.
Right.
Where the other facet of it that governments don't want to admit
Be clear about
is spraying poisons on the soil.
Right.
So by poisoning the seeds and the soil, in the end they change the pH levels to such a highly unbalanced level that they end up killing the plants. And the insects, no plants, no insects, no humans, no food.
Oh, I see.
You know, and then there's the third facet, which is where people look at me like I'm mad, which is that it also serves to keep us constantly poisoned. So this constant chemtrail poisoning...
Is that big pharma and things like that, do you mean? Is that what it's about?
Of course.
Okay.
Because, you know, spraying aluminum particles and barium and strontium and all this stuff that we never know what mixture or cocktail of stuff they're throwing on us, but they are doing it on a daily basis, which means it's cumulative and it is making us sick.
Yeah.
And
it's just a shame because, I mean, obviously they want to try and keep something secret, do you know what I mean? They're gonna.
Well, obviously the powers that be are not going to admit that they're purposely trying to poison you. Of course not. Is it part of? Well, I've just been asked by a gentleman. Is it part of the
of the agenda?
The depopulation agenda?
Yeah.
Yes, to a certain extent. I always say, don't think that they want to kill us, period, because if they want us to kill us all, then they would have no slaves left.
Workers,
But they do want the right amount of us left, and within that right amount, it's a particular targeted demographic of people that they want to live alive. So basically the most stupid people that won't ask questions, they're the ones that they will aim to live alive.
They don't want any
in order
basically.
to serve them. Exactly. and the rest of us will be targeted.
Right.
So yeah, there are very special and specific demographics being targeted.
Right. How is it passed down though, do you think? Because I hear a lot of people say, it started in the 70s or it started years ago.
Yeah.
But how is it like passed down?
Well, even that, look, 1891. So I've got some history here of when it all started. Yes.
It's just unfathomable. Like,
so this is a Weather Modification Policy Act.
Let's have a look here,
from 1878. Just in case people think it's a theory and we're all nuts. No, it's not.
It's just what I'm trying to get my head around is how they're passing the whole concept down. If people die, then, you know, kids grow up. Do you see what I mean? With the people that are actually trying to do it, or the bodies that are trying to do it, how do they pass this information down so it continues since that time? Do you see what I mean?
Well, they pass it down within their own elite families. They're the only ones that know what they're doing, obviously.
Right.
And they pass it on to their kids and so on and so forth. It's a very reduced group that's controlling things. Like literally, if you talk about the Club of 300, and that's even a lot because above the Club of 300 are the 13 ruling families of the world, the most powerful families.
Right.
And they're the ones that meet at the Club Bilderberg meetings every year and decide which way they're going to kill us every year, what addition they're going to put to how they're going to kill us as well as control us.
And they talk about it being in plain sight because it makes it okay for them to do it if they're open about it in some way. Do you see what I mean? That's what I heard anyway. I was just on that.
Yeah.
The question I was touching on it.
What lies behind that? I mean, Freemasonry lies behind all of this, and if you research Freemasonry, it's part of a cult, of a very evil cult.
Right.
And
then you'll get the understanding.
Freemasonry will tell you it's not a religion, it is. And within their religious beliefs in Freemasonry, they believe that if they let people know what they're doing, in a roundabout way, because they don't always clearly tell you, but if they tell you clearly enough, they believe that they're free from the karma, from the consequences. That's what the Freemasonic religion
that's
tells
what I was
you.
getting at, yeah.
They're going to be free from the karma if they do their best to warn you about it.
Yeah.
So then by the time you're affected, we warned you about it, you didn't do anything about it, you didn't listen.
It's free will, in other words, kind of thing.
Too bad.
Yeah.
So now we're not going it's comparable to a member of government or a politician or a prime minister giving orders for a war to start or for a war to carry on. Is he killing people directly? No, it's the soldiers that are killing people directly. So they're the ones that are going to get the direct bad karma. So it's not, this is an argument that, by the way, Mark Passio presents in his lectures, and he asks, who is more guilty? So he gives you a picture of an Iranian baby dead in the arms of his father, and on the left-hand side he puts a picture of some very well-known politicians, and on the right-hand side he puts a picture of an army shooting away. He puts who is
the
more guilty, and people don't understand the questions because immediately they think that they're being asked who is or isn't guilty. No. He's not asking who is or isn't guilty. They're both guilty for aiming for such an evil objective, but who is more guilty ultimately? And ultimately, who's going to get the bad karma? The one that kills directly, obviously.
I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you talking to me.
So this is how Freemasonry works within the elite circles, and why they like to tell us indirectly what they're doing.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Let me take my microphone off here. No, sure. Do that. No, I don't want to leave you hanging, man. I always do that. Thank you, Steve. Thanks a lot, man. She was really nice. I hope you gained something from that, guys. She was really nice. She cleared up a lot of my questions anyway. Answered it very clearly.